all of that data on uniswap.info is pulled via the graph. So you have this great data on blockchains, but it's not organized. And so without the graph, you as a developer spend like a very long time trying to organize that data. And this is why there was that narrative in 2017 that there were no users on Ethereum. It's because you would open these dApps and it would take like an hour to load because the graph wasn't there yet. And so with the launch of the graph, we make it about 10 times easier to build a dApp on blockchains. So it's like trade data, historical data, like any kind of data that exists on the blockchain, the graph organizes. So NFTs, DeFi, DAOs, like all the use cases.
Yeah. Okay. So, and just as real quick, to be clear, so everyone understands, it's not just one or two protocols. It's almost every project is touching the graph. And so you guys are built in almost like the DNS of Web3, correct?
Yeah, and that's a great way to think about it. So we support over 27 different networks. So layer one blockchains like Near, Avalanche, Ethereum, but layer two blockchains as well, like Arbitrum, Optimism, zk Sync, and then oracles like Chainlink and sidechains like Polygon as well. And then you have all these dApps on top. So like Uniswap Synthetics, Gnosis, LivePeer, Audius, which is like music on the blockchain.
No, I was going to say, and somehow she's got time to do more projects. Keep going, Stefan. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an Amazon S3 type thing where you do storage on behalf of people, but you also organize the data versus just like letting you upload it. Is that fair?
So the storage comes in with like IPFS and Arweave as an example. So the graph actually indexes the data within those storage spaces. But you can kind of think of the graph, I think of it kind of like a mix between Google, Apple, and then like the web. And so we're really here to kind of decentralize everything that is centralized within Web3. And Moxie, who's the former CEO of Signal, but founder of Signal, he recently put out a post on just all of the issues with centralization within Web3. And this is what we've kind of been shouting from the rooftops since the beginning. It's like everything needs to be decentralized. And now that's becoming more and more clear with these Web2 developers kind of calling Web3 out. And that being said, I think decentralization does take time. These pieces of the stack take time to, one, build, but then two, integrate with one another so that they talk to each other. And so that's the phase that we're working on now within the Web3 space, is really making sure like the graph talks to IPFS, talks to Arweave, talks to all of these different layers of the stack.
So when you're, I mean, you're so like, and I hate to use the word centralized, but I mean, you truly have created, the APIs, and it has to be like true decentralization. It's going to take a lot more time than people understand, because, the APIs that you guys have built and the protocols that you guys have kind of helped to mature, like you've brought forward Web3 by years, if not decades, by doing, the projects that you have. But there's always the criticism. There's always the people that don't quite understand. But how political do you get kind of from the graph and maybe edge node level when people are saying, hey, we're thinking about doing this? Are they consulting with you because you guys are not, you're not the gatekeeper by means, but clearly you're the ones that will help process that data faster?